far on the line, and I think
And that part of
they
Yosemite,
don't.
they
that
see
I
what
can remember.
the
Yeah, and that one.
I'll call the meeting of the McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The reason for today's hearing is petition Z 25-0039. The applicant is Gordon and Barbara Widener. The request is for an A1 agricultural district to the A2 agricultural district. The PIN number for this property is part of 0133-200-002. The property is just under 2 acres and is located on the east side of Oak Grove Road, 1,300 feet north of the intersection of Raymer Road and Oak Grove Road in Chemung Township. I have the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals introduce themselves and the township in which they reside, starting on my left.
Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Township.
Jessica Beverly, Door Township.
Linnea Kuster, Alden Township.
Vicki Gartner, Nunda Township.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Bill Kernick, Grafton Township.
This petition has been reviewed and the following items have been received prior to today's scheduled hearing. Publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper is dated April 11, 2025, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. Affidavit of posting was signed and the date posted was April 13, 2025. Affidavit of mailing was signed and the date mailed was April 8, 2025, both meeting ordinance requirements. The survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all three match. The filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition, and the McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received. There's no members of the public here for this petition, so I won't go through all the things, how the hearing works. I will just say anyone who is going to give testimony today will need to be sworn in, so if you're going to be speaking, I would just ask you to raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, I'll turn it over to the petitioner. If you would introduce yourself, please. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. Everything is being recorded for a court reporter.
Good afternoon. I'm attorney Elizabeth Pfiffner. I represent the petitioner, who is Gordon Widener, present and to my right.
I'm Gordon Widener.
We guessed that.
If you want me to proceed.
Yeah, go ahead and proceed.
I'm not going to do much of an opening statement. This is a pretty straightforward A1 to A2 petition. You guys have seen these ad nauseum. So it does meet the actual requirements of the ordinance itself. And if I may proceed with questions for my client, I do so.
Right ahead.
Mr. Widener, are you familiar with the property commonly known as 6808 Oak Grove Road in Harvard, Illinois?
Yes,
And that property is currently zoned A1, is that correct?
yes,
And you're seeking an amendment to A2, is that correct?
yes,
And the property currently has on it a lawfully constructed residential dwelling unit as well as an exterior building, is that correct?
yes,
And the property has remained in its current configuration since the time that you acquired the property, is that correct?
yes,
And the property is currently, the subject property is currently part of larger parcel, is that correct?
yes,
And the subject property that you're seeking the amendment on is approximately 1.908 acres, is that correct?
yes,
And the property that we're seeking the amendment for is a result of a survey by an Illinois registered surveyor, is that correct?
yes,
And this division with the map amendment would not require any new streets or easements, is that correct?
yes,
And do you believe that the proposed zoning amendment from A1 to A2 is compatible with existing uses of zoning of the nearby parcels?
yes,
And is it correct to say that you do not believe the surrounding property values would be diminished by amending the subject property from A1 to A2, is that correct?
yes, that's right.
And do you believe that the proposed zoning amendment would promote public health, safety, and welfare?
Yes,
And do you believe that there will be a public gain resulting by allowing the amendment from A1 to A2?
yes,
And is it correct to say that you do not believe that there would be any public hardship that would result if the amendment were allowed, correct?
Correct.
And most of this property, the 1.908 acres, is located in a sensitive aquifer recharge area, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you believe that the property in this configuration, as resulted on the survey, would be suitable to remain as A1 property for commercial agricultural production?
The remaining property.
The remaining property, but the subject property is not suitable, is that correct?
Correct.
And do you believe that there is a community need for rezoning this from A1 to A2?
Yes.
And do you believe that the proposed use is consistent with surrounding property uses as well as the comprehensive plan established in McHenry County?
Yes.
And do you believe the proposed zoning amendment is compatible with the current surrounding agricultural operations?
Yes.
And do you believe that the proposed zoning will maintain, preserve, and enhance agricultural activities?
Yes.
And is it correct to say that the surrounding properties to the north, south, east, and west are all zoned A1, correct?
Yes.
And is there anything that's going to be changing on the property?
No.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, do you know when the house was built?
A long time ago.
And are there currently any tenants in the property?
There were the same renters for 31 years, and they bought a home in Harvard. So as of 2 weeks ago, there were no more tenants.
I have no more questions. I'll defer to
Start with questions, am I right, Mr. Kernick?
Just a few questions, sir. When did you acquire the property?
I think we bought it probably 7, 8 years ago.
And how much of the property did you acquire? I assume you acquired more than just the subject property?
That was an 80-acre total parcel.
And what are you doing with the remaining acreage?
We farm.
Pardon, you're farming it?
Yeah, we farm.
Just one other question. I probably know the answer, but I'll ask it. Why do you believe that this use is compatible with the uses surrounding the property?
Well, everybody around there is pretty much has houses on small lots.
And how about the property across the street?
It's Dream Acres, it's called. That's a subdivision,
And that's estate zoning, as I recall?
probably.
I actually believe that across the street is all A1.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but right
Well, that's weird, because there's houses on all those.
on the property that's A1 as well, are there single
Yeah,
family?
every one of those lots that I see across from that driveway to the
Okay.
west, those are all houses.
Correct, in the property that's designated A1 on the
Yes.
west side,
Yep.
there's also homes in that property as well.
Yes.
And they're on pretty substantial lots, I assume?
Yeah, it looked like half acre at least.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Schnabel?
I had 2 questions to ask. You've already been asked them by my colleague, Mr. Kernick. I have nothing further at this time, thank you.
Okay,
Ms. Gardner?
He asked most of my questions too, but I do have a couple more.
sure.
So are your plans to rent out the house again or to sell?
We will sell it.
You're gonna sell it,
Yeah.
okay. And, I guess that's it.
Ms. Beverly?
I have no questions.
Ms. Donner?
I have no questions.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes, I may have zoned out for a moment. Your background or experience in farming in which you are putting these opinions forward, how long and so forth in the area?
We moved here in '65 and I started farming in '78.
Thank you, I have no further questions.
And I have no questions. Staff have any questions?
One quick question, just for the record. The barn that's shown on the aerial photograph, that has since been removed, correct?
Correct.
That's all I know.
If you want to know what happened to the barn, you went to Nunda Township.
Oh, thank you.
We have the wedding venue over there, Crystal Creek.
And the Plat Act exception, did you cover that?
I believe so, yes.
I think
believe that was part of my line of
It's
questioning.
also in your narrative, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. So anything else that you didn't cover that you included in your narrative, will you just incorporate that into the testimony?
Yes.
So at this time, we'll take testimony from the public, the planning department.
I'm just going to go ahead and read Anna's assessment here. The applicant is requesting a map amendment from the A1 Agriculture District to the A2 Agriculture District on just under 2 acres. The request is consistent with the existing agriculture and single-family residential land uses of the area. The request is also consistent with the recommendations provided in the 2030 and Beyond Plan and the 2030 Comprehensive Plan text. The reclassification is consistent with the future land use map designations of agricultural. Most of the subject property is located in a sensitive aquifer recharge area. Staff has no objection to the applicant's request for reclassification.
Does anyone have questions for staff? Do you have any closing statement?
I'll waive closing.
Okay. So at this time, we'll close the hearing portion of the meeting and we'll move on to the voting portion of the meeting. Again, this is Z250039 and the request for A1 district to the A2 agricultural district. I would entertain a motion to approve this request, if anyone so moved.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second.
Been moved by Ms. Beverly, seconded by Ms. Gardner to approve this request. Discussion?
This A1 to A2, as petitioner stated, is fairly standard. It meets the balancing test of section 1620.010E1, and it satisfies the requirements of 1636.020, so I would be in favor of moving this petition forward.
Okay, Mr. Cozen.
I concur with the statements of my colleague as well as recognize the experience and the opinions of the applicant. So I too will be supporting this petition as submitted.
Ms. Gardner.
I agree.
Mr. Schnabel.
In more layman's terms, I fully support the petitioner's right to split this smaller parcel with a house off from his larger parcel, giving him the ability to sell it to someone that could appreciate using it.
Ms. Donner.
I will be approving it.
Mr. Kernick.
I'm in favor of the request as well, and I agree with everything that my colleagues have said.
And I'm in favor of as well. This is the intent of the A2 ordinance to allow people to split off like a rural residence. And so a lot of people, that buy a parcel or a farm, they don't want to be a tenant. And as you've been a tenant for the last several years, but a lot of people don't want to do that. They'd rather just sell off the buildings and keep the farmland. So this meets that intent. It meets the standards in the ordinance as well as the land use plan. So I'm in favor of the request. So at this time, I'll call for the vote. Ms. Gardner.
Yes.
Mr. Cozen.
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel.
Yes.
Ms. Beverly.
Yes.
Ms. Donner.
Yes.
Mr. Kernick.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so this will go to the county with a 7-0 vote approving the request.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to public comment. There's some people here that would like to give some public comment, so I would welcome you to come to the table. You lucked out on a rainy day, Gordy.
I know, that's fine. It was me or Barb, and I'm like, if it rains, I'll go.
Look at the
Thank
house.
you. Have a safe planting season.
We mostly came just to introduce ourselves. I'm Chris and Jer Heiting, and we live in the Deer Path subdivision, and we're here about what's going to happen on the 22nd, which is the slaughterhouse behind our house. And we would like for you to think over everything about this before you make a decision. So we wanted to get here earlier than later because we just found out about this. Now, I can stand on my back deck and I can see the whole property, and other people are even closer.
Where this is at, where you
Excuse
live.
me?
Deer Path?
Deer Path subdivision?
Oh, in Wonder Lake, there's a slaughterhouse we have
Yes.
coming up on the
Yes.
22nd.
We have grave concerns about this because I feel like it's going to be bad for a lot of people's health, for starters. I do feel that the watershed could be a problem too. This property kind of comes down like this. And so we sit relatively high, but the water is coming, is going at a decline. So We're concerned about numerous things that are going to happen. We have the fertilization problem when they're doing all of this powder lands on our properties.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
Not following.
Yeah.
And
I guess
so-
this is not
What
testimony,
powder-
it's just public
Okay.
comments. So
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I'm not following what powder, but we're in public testimony, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Go ahead, John.
fertilizer, from when they butcher the chickens, because it's going to be a chicken house, okay? They're going to use the fertilizer to plant or sell, fertilizer trees that they have there. And then they can sell, which will bring stink, okay, which is going to be gross. The wind blows our way through the 2 subdivisions, because it surrounds, I forgot
Like
one
3?
subdivision.
There's one off of Greenwood Road that's right next to the cemetery. And this property is right between the cemetery and that property. We're behind it. You cannot see this property at all
Off
from
Green
the,
Road,
off Greenwood
you
Road.
can't see it.
It's got a little narrow street about the size of this.
Do you know where the cemetery is? There's a dirt, or
There's a
stone
driveway.
road that goes up there, okay? And we just found out about this
Less
a
than a
week
week
and a
ago.
half ago. We started signing petitions, people are upset. There's still a lot of people that don't know, especially people that live, we don't live butt up against it, but I just talked to a guy that just moved in, okay, and I go, do you know there's going to be a slaughterhouse up there? He'll be talking about.
So you're familiar with the way the hearing process works?
Yes, we're just introducing ourselves, you know what I mean? We don't know if we have, there's many, people have already signed many petitions, okay, about this. We don't want to, we'll bring back to our people that are involved with it. Would it be better to have the signatures before that way we're not throwing everything at you at one time, and I'm not opposed to
I would
harm.
say it's helpful to the members of the board to have as much information before the hearing as possible. Then we can follow up and do our own research, and then we have better prepared to ask questions of the petitioner when they come in.
Okay.
That's what we thought too.
Right,
And that's
right.
why we wanted to come today, just to give you this food for thought, basically.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just, we're just
But
common folk.
you can write letters,
Mhm.
and then you can come to the hearing, and you have the possibility of asking questions of the petitioner yourself.
Mhm.
And then you have the ability to make a statement at the end of the hearing. It's 3 minutes per person on why you believe it should or should not be allowed. So the public has a lot of opportunity to participate in a public hearing. We didn't go through everything today because there was no public here for
Absolutely.
this
No, we're
petition.
just introducing
But,
ourselves. We don't know
But yes,
procedure.
you have the opportunity, you'll have 3 minutes to ask questions of their testimony. And all the documents that they provide to the county are online, so we're very transparent about that. So you'll have everything that we have
Mhm.
that you can look over before the hearing. And any letters that people give that, we will receive those before the hearing. But at the hearing, then you have the opportunity to ask questions, and you have, the ability to then give your comments. So
Okay,
it's,
so that's understandable. The only thing I knew was, I know he lives in Lake Zurich, which is no big deal. I know Lake Zurich voted him out, and I think Mundelite voted out, just for the slaughterhouse, not for the farmland. You know what I mean? That's my concern, is it would be nice if he would, because he has other properties, maybe further away from a populated area, you know what I mean? To have the chickens and, in a slaughterhouse. He has cattle, I don't care about the cattle, you know what I mean? It's just basically the conditions are will our house value go down, you know what I mean? We pay a lot of course, taxes compared to one person. Other than that, I understand. I'm glad you let us talk for a little bit, and we'll go back and relay what we learned today, okay? So,
and I would encourage you to address the standards, because there's standards that they have to meet in our zoning ordinance. And so that's what we have to follow.
Mhm.
So in your comments, or your questions, I encourage you to look at those standards as well.
So,
Because those are
They'd be in the staff
basically the
report.
laws that
no,
we have to
I
follow.
understand that, but is it, would the people that live in the area, if everyone signs it, and there's quite a few people, we've got probably 300 signatures already that live just in the area, and that is not all of them, okay? So are we barking up a tree that we can't do nothing about? Because he decided that he wants to have a slaughterhouse, you know what I mean?
Well,
know, in a
every
neighborhood.
petition is different, and we don't know the facts about this, and so we just have to analyze everything, based on the testimony that's given and the standards in our ordinance. So, as a
I
member of the
don't know
public,
ordinances, so-
I just say take advantage of your opportunity to have a voice, because we listen to everybody.
The standards will be in the staff report online when you pull up the agenda. There's a staff report, and at the end of the staff report, they list what standards have to be met. And you'll be able to see, you don't have to do your own research, it's all in the staff report.
It's in there now, right?
It should be up in probably about a week or so, I don't think that one's been
Okay, see, 'cause
posted
we
yet,
don't,
so.
we didn't see
We
any
didn't
of
want
that.
to come on the 22nd and
You
say,
know,
here,
Sure.
So we thought if we got here a
So-
little earlier, we could.
So we don't
at least
have
let
the
you-
final staff report either. So when they have that done, that'll go online. So then you go to the meeting portal for that day, and all the documents are there. So then you'll see the staff report and the standards are listed there.
so,
Usually about a week or two before the hearing is when that gets
so
posted.
would it be advisable to hire an attorney? I mean,
Oh, that's up to you.
you know, something, I'd like,
We can't give advice on whether you should
no,
or
I
shouldn't
just,
do it.
something, if, why hire attorney, basically, to come here and we're doing the same thing, voicing our opinion on, why? You know what I mean? Why did he get denied in 2 places, okay? Kept his farm, but denied in 2 places, and he's not even going to live on the property.
I would say that if you find, looking through the standards, that this guy is not meeting 1 or 2 of the standards in your opinion, then you might want to get a legal opinion on it, or call staff and find out.
And does anybody, let's just say he pleads his case and everybody says, oh no, he's followed all the criteria. Is there people that
In our community,
pay attention to if he actually is, or do we have to always be on top
Oh,
of
no,
it?
we have enforcement officers in the county, the zoning enforcement officers, to make sure that people that do have uses that have been approved by the county board need to stick to those requirements.
even
So
with,
then if
even
there's a
with, like,
violation,
the order of a slaughterhouse, with chickens and the debris that they're going to, do they remove all that off the property? Or does he get to keep it and fertilize it, and use it so we get the bulk
We'll
of it?
find
We'll
out
have
at the
to
hearing.
find out.
We'll find out.
This is
Okay,
probably a
no,
conditional
and-
use, right? And so there's going to be a lot of conversation.
Okay,
Because
no,
it's conditional.
Okay,
Okay, so,
we appreciate
yeah,
you
we
listening to
appreciate
us
your time,
today.
And
we're just
also,
old,
it-
we just moved into their,
well, I was on your side one time. That's how I learned about zoning. Yeah,
No, no,
because I had a
that's-
neighbor gonna do something that I didn't want
No,
to
it-
happen, and so I started learning about it. But also, I want you to know that we are a recommending body to the county board, so
Okay.
what we do is not law.
I just don't want to
It's
have
a recommendation to the county board, and then
they
they
make the
make
decision.
the final decision.
I don't want to have a meeting with the shouting match back and forth. I mean, that's not what we're here for. You know what I mean? That's,
Oh, we don't allow that.
that's not what I'm here for. I'm just looking, it's consideration, looking at the whole neighborhood, the whole picture, instead of looking at one man, one company who has lots of money.
If people start shouting, we call security. So.
Here, you got another property, put the slaughterhouse over here. You know what I mean? Okay, something, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, everybody.
And,
You're welcome.
I would encourage you to put anything in writing that you have information-wise that would not be readily available to us.
Okay, no.
The other properties and the other zoning petitions, it's not
Well, no,
something that
this
we
is-
would have any knowledge of.
We just started last night.
Okay.
Well, you got a couple weeks, so that's
That's how
okay.
much we know about this already. Thank you again.
Thank you, now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Can you officially close?
Oh, you have to close it.
Oh, this time the hearing is closed.
Thank you.
That's right.
Now you